Well, this was the big day. At least it was supposed to be the big day. I was finally going to be testing my AKASO V50X for its first flight. And I fly a Piper Comanche 180, 1958. Some nice features about this aircraft are that it's only got the 4-cylinder, 180 horsepower engine, but because of that, it doesn't burn as much fuel as the bigger Comanches. And yet with the Retrax landing gear, I still get 130 knots usually at about 2400 RPM and about 20 pounds of manifold pressure, and I can do that for around 9.1 US gallons per hour. So I really enjoy that. Now, the camera in question is the AKASO V50X. Now, I should make a disclaimer right off the bat that I am not an action camera guru. I have always kind of wanted the GoPro, since that seems to be the industry standard. However, they're a little bit more expensive than what I have budgeted for, especially when you own an airplane. So I thought I would go ahead and just try one of these versions. So I asked one of these for Christmas. Now, it's got a few challenges. One of the things is that GoPros have a wonderful ability to have this adapter that can plug right into a sound cable into your Aviation headset and microphone setup. AKASO doesn't have that, and AKASO doesn't apparently isn't set up, let's just put it that way, for other external or other users to fit into their equipment. Anyways, so I had to do a bit of a workaround to do the sound. Now, as you'll find out, I actually did not do that successfully, just simply because I assumed it was hooked up properly, and it wasn't. I did test it at the end of the flight, and sure enough, it works. Now, you'll see me later on in a video. In fact, just before I take off here, you'll get to see where I figured out a workaround, I guess, to get sound into the camera using an external mic. It's deceptively simple. It works. Like I say, I wished I could have had it working this time, but hopefully on the next video you will see that happen. So anyways, you know, I've watched probably hundreds if not thousands of YouTube videos, and especially as they relate to flying, but I've never seen anybody actually use this camera you know, to work it in a flying experience. And as I said, flying is expensive and GoPros are expensive, so I thought, well, let's go with this AKASO option, and it worked out pretty good. It's just such a little guy, but it is loaded with features. And one of the cool things that the AKASO has is the AKASO Go app. That's a wonderful little app. What it does is that it connects up to your smartphone via Wi-Fi, and then your smartphone basically can control what's going on in the camera. As I said, I did a bit of a workaround for the sound, and again, just to go over it, unlike GoPro, AKASO, certainly at the time of making this video, has not developed an interface to connect with your Aviation headset. And I've heard that, like I say, other interfaces do not work with AKASO external mic USB input. So watch this next little bit of video, and then I'll come back to this issue just a little bit later. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the features on this camera. What I will do next time. Hope you can see that okay. So here's the camera. There's lots of excellent YouTube videos on basically all the functionality here, so I won't go into it too greatly.
other than you start it by pressing the node button or the mode button, holding it until it comes up. And it's got this very excellent little touch screen here. And so to set it the way I should have done it for the airplane was I should have gone like that. Now, I didn't have image stabilization on. You can see it's on now, but it was off. Oh, by the way, and you have to set it for each function. So there's the movie camera, and there's the just for the regular still camera, but who uses that with an action camera? Anyways, so there's you got your choices. So I've got 4K, which is 30 frames per second. So I go back. Then image stabilization, like I say, it was off. I just assumed it was on. I thought I had maybe turned it on last time, but maybe when you take the battery out, it goes back default. I'm not sure about that, but anyways, then I turn that back on. Then you just X out here, and then you're back here. By the way, don't think it's off. Like as soon as this has been running for a few seconds, this will go off. Now, another neat feature, if you don't use the Wi-Fi feature, which I won't go into right now because I'm using my camera, my phone to do this, but this camera comes with this great little feature here. And if you look close, you'll see it's got a little movie camera on it and a regular camera on it. So that you can put it on your wrist, Velcro, so it fits on anybody else's wrist. Okay, now watch what happens with this camera. So I will press the little movie camera button, and now it's actually recording movie. 3, 4, 5 seconds. Hit it again and it stops. Now if you want to take a photo, you just press the red camera button, and it even gives you that cool shutter sound. So yeah, just a neat thing. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention about it with regard to how I want to use it, I thought again I was using it here. What I should have done, what I thought I had done, but I guess I didn't, was I went to microphone, and I didn't go to microphone, and it was on the built-in status, and that will not work if you're trying to record audio, because it just records inside loud airplane noise. All I would have had to do is click that, and then see my microphone says that it's external, and then I of course just need to plug that in. How do you do that? Well, you take this little microphone, and these things are very inexpensive. I think this is less than 20 bucks, and it has quite a nice long cord on it. It must be, I'm going to say, close to 2 meters. So what I wanted to do is to put this thing in my cup of my headphone, because of course with the intercom, then you'd hear what I'm saying and anybody else would be saying in the intercom. So that's what I was planning to do, and I did actually do it, but of course it wasn't set up. Anyways, then you just take this, and you have 2 slots here. I always forget this. I think this is called the USB micro, and this is the USB mini. I might have those backwards. This one's a little bit flatter and longer. This one's a little bit higher and shorter. But the one that you use for, well, charging, you can use it for charging your batteries with it in. By the way, that's the little SD card. But then this is where you plug in the microphone. And so basically, if I do a movie now and I've got the setting on external, it'll work. So just so you know, I did try this. It's not on the video, but I did actually take this and stick it in the right cup of my Aviation headset, and it worked, just really well. Now, the other thing is, you might think, well, that's going to be kind of painful, that big clip. Well, just so you know, it's got a nice little C clip. All you do is pull that off. So usually if your cup is fairly deep on one of your earphones, you can just put that right in, and then this isn't going to be bugging your ear. And it's, I actually forgot to do that too. I didn't forget, I just wasn't sure if I could do it without breaking it. And what happened was I had this actually in there the whole time and it didn't bother my ear. I must have had that up against the actual outside of the cup. But anyways, this is even better. Then this mounts beautifully onto your you know, your mounts that come with the camera. And I got, of course, an extra kit, a newer one, a newer brand. But the great feature about this, of course, and I'm pretty sure obviously every action camera has it. I'm not familiar with other action cameras, so I'm going off, this is my very first one. But what's nice is you go, okay, well, here's the mount for a tripod, like you know, something like one of these, or the ones that you actually mount in your airplane. And then you go, okay, well, how's that going to work upside down? Well, again, probably you're smarter than me and realize that there is a setting for that, but there is here too. So let's go back to settings one more time, and to camera, to settings again, to upside down mode, turn that off for now, and there you go. It's back to where it should go. Okay, sorry that was a little awkward, but hopefully that will be helpful. And we'll just turn that off with the mode button.
So you might be wondering, boy, Jeff, that looks an awful lot like just a gravel road. And if you notice that, you're exactly right. In Canada, at least where I live in Canada, it's totally legal to fly off of roads. Obviously, you don't want to be flying off major freeways or busy highways. But where I keep my airplane out at a rural property, it's got this beautiful north-south, east-west runway. No power lines around. And I have a friend out there who lets me keep it there, and no airport fees, and wow, how can you go wrong? So yeah, anyways, it's a great way to keep an airplane again if you're watching the dollar signs, to keep it a little bit cheaper. So anyways, I hope that wasn't too confusing with regard to that microphone thing, but basically, again, just to take the microphone that you can get as an accessory for the AKASO cameras, take that little C clip off, that would be kind of like a lapel connection, and then you just put that in the cup of your Aviation headset, and of course, because you're using an intercom, anything you say or anybody else in the plane that is using the intercom will come through your headset, and it will pick that up. And so that's my ridiculously easy workaround. And like I say, next flight I am going to go do that. Now, in the part of the country I fly in, it's in kind of south central Alberta, near the famous Drumheller Tyrrell Museum, the best dinosaur museum in the world. And that's because this area, these Badlands area, is one of the richest sources of dinosaur fossils and bones in the world. Anyways, the Badlands are very beautiful. You've got these flat prairies drained through these what we call coulees into the larger rivers, which give the landscape just a real beautiful contrast. You can be flying along and it looks flat and prairie-like, and then the next thing you see this gorge below you with these beautiful sedimentary layers. It's fantastic. Anyways, I'm flying to a little town right about now here called Rosebud. Rosebud was almost an abandoned village. The train had left years ago, and the place was kind of dying, and somebody had a vision to start an art school. And so Rosebud School of the Arts and Professional Theater began in this little town. And it's just a fantastic artsy little community and just beautiful. And so yeah, just about a little over an hour out of Calgary, Alberta to the east. The one thing I should also mention here about this camera, the next time I go flying with it, well, I'll either put it on this mount and try the sound, but I soon want to put it outside and start seeing what that's going to look like. I can hardly wait to get a shot of my landing gear come up after takeoff and that kind of stuff. So I've got all kinds of shots I want, and of course once I get good with this one camera, guess what I'm going to be wanting? Want another 2 or 3 of these probably. One of the things though that I noticed is if you look out, this view is often used by YouTubers to, you know, see the pilot. Right now it's zoomed out a little bit more, so you're mostly seeing outside and not my head bobbing around as much. But most YouTubers say when they use GoPros for this shot that they have to get a filter, a special filter, to take out some of the prop artifact that occurs. And what they mean by that is a lot of times, like even if I take this video that you're watching with my iPhone, you'll often see a dark shadow, it's the strobe effect, right, of the propeller. And anyways, in this particular case, you'll notice that the AKASO does a pretty decent job of, you know, showing just a little bit of blur, but there's no big bent prop looking on there. So I was pretty impressed about that. Anyways, what I'm doing right now is flying close towards Drumheller along the Rosebud River, and going to be flying along the Rosebud River and joining to the Red Deer River. I'll let you enjoy the video a little bit and some of the music, and I'll come back to you a little bit later. So enjoy. here I'm getting close to landing, and again, when you're not at a official airport, you got to use what you got to use to check your winds, and I rely heavily on the Windy app. It is free. You can buy a subscription with a few extra features, but the free version is fine, and it is so accurate in terms of wind speed and direction to where you're going. It is unreal. Missionary Pilot from the YouTube channel uses that extensively out in Papua New Guinea, and so if it's good enough for him as a jungle pilot, it's good enough for us common aviators, us flat grounders. So anyways, something I found useful, and if you haven't used it yet, it's fantastic. Also, it gives you great abilities to kind of check forecasts for layers of cloud and that type of thing, sometimes hours and days ahead of what you'll get from your aviation forecast. So not that it's always perfect, but it gives you a pretty good idea for flight planning. Okay, well, here we are coming on final. Of course, some of this has been edited out. I did a big circuit with a low pass just to make sure everything's good. Good thing I did, because there was a car coming. Right to my left wingtip when I come over this intersection is the one of the cemeteries in our area, so it's always a good reminder to have a good landing. And as you will see, I did not have a great landing. It was nice and slow and safe, and I didn't porpoise, but I did bounce about 3 times because I was using full flaps, which I often don't use. And there's a nice ball of air to kind of keep it soft. Didn't really jar me too much, but always humbling. So I thought I'd keep it on there so that it encourages me next time to do better. Anyways, that wasn't a very sterile cockpit, was it? But anyways, and as you noticed, some of the video that you've seen, it was sped up ×2 just to not bore you too much. But anyways, I'd sure appreciate any comments on this video on the product review of the AKASO V50X. Anyways, and also if you're kind of enjoying some of the area that I fly in and just some of my specs on my airplane. I think I will do shorter videos, but this is my first aviation video with this new action camera. So thanks for indulging me, and anyways, now you'll just see me taxi back on the driveway. I'll make a spin around to loop into my parking position, and we'll shut her down. But anyways, yeah, please feel free to comment. Don't be too harsh on me. This is the first time, so I got lots to learn. But yeah, I hope the product review was helpful and that you enjoy flying videos. And feel free to come back again and hit notification and like, and feel free to share with others. All right, I'm gonna wrap up for now, and we'll talk to you next time. Stay safe, keep the shiny side up.